two great leaders of our movement bring when they work together, and always have when they work separately. And tonight, it's my honor again to present someone who, in whatever role he plays, as long as he draws a breath, will not only not run from a fight. Bruce is one of those people who, when he finds out there's a fight, he runs to it. Bruce Raynor.
Thank you, Noel, and good evening, brothers and sisters. I can think of no better place to be at this moment on a Saturday night than to do at an event called the Eugene V. Debs Foundation. Because if America needed to be reminded of injustice in the past, we have a crying need tonight. As we eat dinner, beautiful dinner, inspiring music, honor great trade unionists, there are 15 million Americans out of work tonight, brothers and sisters. There are more people living in poverty in the richest country in the history of mankind than there have been in the last 30 years tonight in America. In America, we just honor those that died almost a little over 10 years ago. The horrible events in the city I live in, the World Trade Center in New York. And the heroes of the World Trade Center, the firemen and policemen, are having their pensions cut in the United States of America, not 10 years. How soon we forget in this country. And so the Eugene V. Debs Foundation and these awards are so necessary to remind us of the fights that working people have to give justice to America. We have a country taken over by giant corporations, shipping our jobs overseas, stealing the future from our children, and it's up to the people in this room to stop it. And I believe, brothers and sisters, we in the labor movement can accomplish that despite what the odds look like. I want to recognize the president of Workers United, my good friend of 35 years in the labor movement, who has helped to keep the Eugene V. Debs Foundation alive, has helped to keep it vibrant, and not only does a great job for our union as a leader, but does a great job for the Debs Foundation, and that's Noel Beasley, the Executive Vice President of the Debs Foundation. Now, tonight I have really a pleasure and an honor, which is to travel with my good friend Danny Glover and get the chance to introduce him once again, which I've done a few times. Danny Glover is one of the most famous Americans, and what he's famous for is he's one of our most successful movie stars. Danny's movies, whether it's Lethal Weapon, Color Purple, Angels in the Outfield, 2012, Dreamgirls, Places in the Heart. Danny's been in some of the most inspiring and entertaining movies that has made him one of the most successful actors in the country. He's also become an internationally acclaimed actor. I've traveled the world with Danny, and he's just as recognizable on the streets of Mexico City as he is on the streets of Terre Haute. Because millions of people have seen him act in those films. But he is so much more than a great actor and a successful actor. He's an amazing producer. If you ever get a chance to see a film called Soundtrack for a Revolution, then you don't see Danny acting there. He produced a film about the civil rights movement and the songs of the civil rights movement. An amazing documentary. And he's produced a number of incredibly successful and award-winning documentaries. So he's a tremendous actor, he's a successful producer, but what I love most about Danny is neither of those things. What I love most about Danny is, unlike so many of the famous, successful people in society, Danny has taken that success and used it not to enrich himself, but to enrich mankind. Danny's become one of the most amazing activists all around the globe. When you go to a poor country that has been treated badly by American politicians in the world for many years, the country of Haiti, Danny is one of the best-known activists who stood up for the rights of the people of Haiti. He actually escorted the last Democratic elected president of Haiti back into his own country, on, who put his life in danger to do that, and Danny escorted him. Please embarrass him. One of the leaders of the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa, Danny's a figure that well-known to people on the street, well-known to politicians, well-known to President Mandela, well-known to everyone for the incredible support that he lent South Africa in the struggle to end the apartheid system. Danny's been an activist on behalf of the rights of prisoners, something that Eugene V. Debs certainly understood. But what I think has become even more of a mission than those days is Danny, in the 10 years that I've worked with, has become one of the most amazing trade union activists that I've ever seen. Danny's not only stood on picket lines with Local 1426 here in Terre Haute. When Local 1426, after the strike, invited Danny to come back for Labor Day, Danny said, I don't care what my schedule is, I want to be in Terre Haute on Labor Day to be with my brothers and sisters. When we had the fight in Cleveland, Ohio, the Hugo Boss workers, members of Workers United, struggling to keep their factory open after the German company that owned it had announced it was closing. And after most people thought it was hopeless, we drove in from the airport to the factory to meet with the workers. And I said, Danny, the organizers say the workers are discouraged, the factory is closing, people don't think we can keep the factory from closing, most the owners have decided to close it. And Danny said, well, we're just going to have to inspire. And we walked into the factory, the lunchroom, and Danny started talking to those workers, and within, I would say 10 minutes, it was actually within 3 minutes. He had 300 women on their feet, stomping and shouting. He had the supervisors leaving the lunchroom. He had managers scurrying into their offices, and those workers put on a fight that no one thought they could win. And today there are 300 union jobs at the Hugo Boss factory in Cleveland, Ohio. And a lot of that Danny single-handedly led a boycott of actors and actresses not to wear Hugo Boss tuxedos while that fight was going on. And out of something like 1,200 tuxedos, there were 3 from Hugo Boss because Danny Glover asked the entire Hollywood family to boycott Hugo Boss. And I've been with Danny in South Africa, our sister union, the South African Clothing and Textile Workers Union, elected Danny their lead organizer and called on him time and again to help them with organizing campaigns in that country. Danny Glover, with many great award winners in Eugene V. Debs. Some of them are with us and some of them are not. But I believe tonight, brothers and sisters, that Walter Reuther, Jack Shankman, and John L. Lewis would agree with me that our award winner tonight, Danny Glover, is a proper recipient of the Eugene V. Debs Award. It gives me a great pleasure and honor to introduce Daniel Glover.